Welcome back, everyone. This is Dr. Vic listening to here another episode on the Mindful Experiment. I'm excited to have you here and have you on. We're going to be diving deep into something that I know I've gone through this, and especially recently, and I think this may benefit you. Before I get into it, as always, just want to share with you, we got some cool stuff going on here. I'm really on a mission with this program that I'm creating about how to unlock your greatness, return back to source, and so forth. And unlocking your greatness, what does it all mean, right? Well, you have a genius in you. You have something within yourself that separates you from every other being in this entire world, planet, ever been here before. And my job through this process is to really help you become aware and how to navigate that, to tap in and to, go through this journey to really elevate, to become more aware of this beautifulness you have within, that greatness, and to share that to this world. Whether you're a business owner or not a business owner, this is for anybody. The purpose is to help people really navigate life more at a level what we were designed to raise these consciousness levels, to have a more of a robust experience. Because as I get older, I see more how what I can do is all I can focus on is me. But if I can help influence others in the same way, we help everyone. We all work together. We're all interconnected. There is no separation from anyone. And this Unlock Your Greatness program is all about that and so much more. So I have a wait list right now. We are on the back end working on the program. Our goal is to get this released in December-ish, if not no later than January, to really get it out there. And there's going to be two processes. We're going to have a DIY, which is just an online course. You have fun with it on your own. Or if you want to go with a journey with me and some others, I'm going to take only a few select people. You can go that route too. You don't have to choose in the beginning. You just get on the wait list. Doesn't mean you're signing up for anything. But what I will say though, those who jump on the wait list will get a steep discount. I just want to encourage that because it's my way of saying, hey, thanks for jumping on early enough. I'm going to reward in that process when the time comes. To get this course out there to really help share. It is the greatest work I've ever done so far. And I am corpusing so much. There's going to be three main parts to the program. And I'm really excited to get that out there. It's going to turn into a book down the road and so much more. So take advantage of that. If you haven't checked out, if you like what we're talking about, you like these kind of things, check out our Facebook group page. It's called Return to Source. You got the link. All the links are in the show notes, guys. Check them out. And that way, this is just a group where we do Q&As once a month. And we also do eventually going to be doing these these interviews live on there, these podcasts live there, and so much more. So you get a little bit more interaction, a little bit more behind the scenes here and there. You can ask me questions. This is where you can connect with me directly, and so much on that aspect. So get over there, check it out, join, and love to see you there. Make sure you say hi. So today's episode, you ever have an aspect of life where you're hoping for something, let's say it's a goal, maybe a promotion in a job, maybe you're looking to, maybe you want to see your kid just, get to a certain point or X, Y, Z, whatever that is. And it doesn't happen, right? And you're really frustrated, you get down on yourself. You're like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I thought this was going to be it, and yada, yada, yada. Well, I just been there recently and I can't share the details yet, but I will once I can. So I apologize about that. But long story short, I was going through something like that, and I was hoping for it. I was looking at things. I was like, man, this is where it's going to, seems like this is right. I was led in this direction, not by mentally, but by intuition. Like I was like, I feel like this is just what I need to do. Don't know why, but I'm going to go ahead and do this and just trust that process. And, and all of a sudden I hit the road and I was like, man, this, I'll be honest, it sucked. It really did. And I'm human. I go through the same emotions. Even though I know all this stuff, I still go through the same emotions. I'm human. And it was one of those things I was just like really bothered. It was a business thing, and it was really going to help me excel to a whole nother level. And it just didn't happen. And I was just like, man, okay, what do I do here? Right? How do I navigate these waters? Well, I'm going to tell you first. It's okay. The first thing I want to share is, and a lot of times people are, especially in the positive mind movement and all this stuff, it's like, oh no, you just gotta go, don't think negative, just gotta shift your head to positive. And I'm like, I used to think that same way. Like, keep your emotions high. You can't look in the negative way. And I'm like, no, be human. It's okay. Be human. Because here's the thing that what they don't tell you. What persists, what you resist is going to be expressed in another form. Whatever you resist in one way, it's going to express itself. Energy, when we talk about like energy and your energy channels and how the energy moves and your blocks that you have, your scars in life and all this stuff, no matter what, that energy is going to move. like water, no matter what you put in front of it, no matter what dams you put in front of it and whatever blocks it happens on a river, it's going to run through regardless. It will bounce around and still move. The energy will always move. And so it's the same thing here. You when you feel this, do whatever you have to do. Get through it. Right? If you're upset and frustrated, you want to be upset and frustrated, go ahead and stop your front. If you're depressed and you want to have a gallon of ice cream, go for it. I know, right? Especially a chiropractor, holistic guy. But here's what I'm trying to say is you want to let that part go. Stop resisting. Because what happens most people is they go, oh, I know I shouldn't think this way and all this and that. And you just make it worse. You're digging a hole. I'm notorious for that. So I totally get it. Especially in the beginning of my journey of this, what is it now? 15, 16, 17 years ago, where I remember I was like learning about mindset and storytelling and what I put my energy, my focus to. And I was just like, oh no, I can't be this way. I can't be this way. And it's like, I've learned over time, like it's okay to be human. That's what you want. That's what you came here for. It's one of the experiences our soul desires, right? To have a human experience and know the array of the emotions and be able to go through them, because you're going to go through them. Life's going to suck sometimes. It's just going to. It doesn't mean it's bad. That's where the one thing I do make a caveat on. There's nothing bad or good in life. It's just different. And when you look at things from just saying it's different, it takes the energetic charge off. So it's just more of an experience. And so it's okay to go through those, whatever you have to go through to navigate that water. But you don't want to sit there too long. You don't want to ruminate over this thing for too long. It's okay to get there, but then eventually when you're feeling a little bit calmer and you're feeling like the energetic charge kind of gone a little bit and you can breathe for a second, this is when you start to change. You can start to say, okay, I don't know what this means right at this point. This is what I say to myself all the time when something happens and I'm like, oh man, and I have had some patients that had some things go on and, some leave care and you're just like, what the heck's going on? It's like, it all happens at once. And you're like, okay, I didn't like to see that. But I tell myself, it's all good. My mind can't see anything else into the future right now. I can only see right here. But I know everything's working out for the greater good. And I'm just going to go with that because I know it is 100%. And I still know where I want to go and the goals I want to achieve, they're going to happen. Don't know how they're going to happen, but that's not my job. My job is just to stay centered and focused and continue to move forward. Right. And so I'll tell myself these things as I navigate through those emotions. And then here's the kicker. So 1, go through the emotions. Number 2, what you do then is you start to look at this and say, okay, what does this mean for me? What do I want this to mean? Here's where you become the storyteller. This is where you give it a charge. Right? So like I said, I was sharing, let's say, something didn't happen that I wanted to from business. Now I can look at this in a negative way, it's very easy to do. But I looked at it and like I said, first thing I said was, something good's going to come out of this. I have no freaking clue what that is. I used the word freaking, let's just say that. And I said, but there's something going to come out of this. I just don't know what. And long story short, then from there I said, that's my story, right? So I'm saying, hey, I don't know, it's mind. I know you're freaking out. I know my past pain is coming out, right? My traumas and stuff. And it's probing. A lot of triggers are making some things happen. But I just told myself it's going to be something good's going to come out of this. I don't know what, and something better is going to be out of this. I just don't know how. I don't know what it is, but I know it's going to. And it doesn't interfere with my goals and where I want to become and where I want to go. And then from there, once I'm calm and I'm more centered, that's the story I'm telling myself. I keep telling myself that story. You can go further into the story. You can say how this is going to be, this is not meant for here, but I know that, like sometimes it's just as easy as saying, hey, this door closed, but guess what? Another better door is going to open. You're telling yourself a story. Now, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's good and what's real and what's not. So why not use that to your advantage and share that story with yourself? So 1, go through the motions. 2, put a story on it that it is something that you truly believe in. Okay. And when you can do that, now all of a sudden you're shifting the energy away and not getting so sucked into it, which creates a downward spiral, right? When it rains, it pours. You ever hear that before? Well, it rains, it pours because you keep putting the energy towards that. You keep focusing on, oh, this happened here. Well, look what's happening. I've seen this in my practice so many times where it's a chiropractic office where if one patient goes, I'm like, oh man, I didn't see that happening. That was a good patient. I was really enjoying my time with them. What the heck? And if I stay there too long, then all of a sudden I'll notice another patient left, right? Because my mind's focusing on it. And all of a sudden I'll notice another patient leaves. And I'm like, what is happening here? Is it me? What am I doing wrong? Am I not a good chiropractor? Right? You can get into those negative stories. And then I'm like, you know what? Life's just life. Life happens for people. I've learned this took me years to get into as a chiropractor, but life just happens to people and things come up. It happens. It's not about me. Because of what happened there doesn't validate who I am and what I am or the quality of who I am as a chiropractor or as a coach. If let's say a client doesn't want to continue working with me, it doesn't mean that I'm a bad coach or I'm not good at coaching. That just means that, whatever they have going on or whatever, maybe they got what they needed and they're ready to move on. Maybe, maybe it didn't work out. Who knows? But that's what I mean by the story. Don't let it justify you in a negative way. Don't go down that route. There's a whole podcast I can do on why that's important to go down that, be aware of that, but that's another conversation. So that's what I got here. The next thing I want you to do then is, so we embrace the moment. We then tell ourselves a story, a belief, something you can believe in, right? There's something good's going to happen to us. I don't know what. My mind's like, sometimes I'll even say like, hey, man, I get it. You're freaking out right now. I totally understand. I totally see it. Yeah, I thank you for doing that. You're trying to keep me safe. Man, I appreciate it. I'm just here to tell you I'm with you and that I know that this is very scary at the moment and I feel it. I know something good's coming out of this. I just don't know what, but we're going to get through this and things are going to get better. And there will be something better that's going to come from this. I just don't know what. It's going to be better aligned to us and what we're trying to go towards. Because my goal is this, and I know it's going to happen regardless, right? I set that intention and I set clarity to it. I'm telling you, just doing this has been a game changer for me in my life. And I'll share a story. It's not I don't know this. I heard this story from this kind of work. So it's not me or my experience with someone, but this is back in the day where, you had the car radios and you would change them out. You put a new car radio in your car, make it look up more updated and all this other stuff that he used to do. So there's this guy who wanted to change. He wanted to have, there was a top of the line car radio, but he couldn't afford it. And he was going to wait, but he wanted to get it changed. And he's just like, I can't afford it. So he went with a mid-grade one, paid for it all, got it installed. I think it was like a couple days later, someone broke into the car and stole the radio. Now, he understood this work. He understood the storytelling. It sucked. He wasn't happy. He felt all these things. And he just said, you know what? I don't know how something can come good out of this, but I know something good's going to come out of this. I just don't know what. So long story short, he trusted that process. He sent an insurance claim. It took a week, this and that. They did some damage to the car on the outside, the break-in. And so he had the insurance check, and it was just enough to cover the detail work plus replace the radio he had. So he went to a guy to fix it. And the guy looks at the dent, and he goes, to be honest with you, I can just pop that dent out. It'll take my team, it'll take us less than like a minute to do. He goes, what they were quoting you, I won't even charge you for that. So I'll get that done for you, and then we'll reinstall the radio that you were going to have. And he looked at the dollar amount he had, and he had the money to get the top of the line radio that he wanted. So he went and purchased the top of the line radio, and he got that installed, and it all worked out. I had a patient literally go through something where it was like sick days, not sick days, and all this stuff. And I love the story because she was like, they messed up this with my maternity and this and that, and it was a headache for her. And I totally get it. Out of the deal, she got an additional, I think 12 and a half sick days out of it, paid. Now, it caused a lot of issues in the beginning, but again, everything always works out for a greater good. And so out of that, this is what turned out. So even better than what originally was. Now, there's pluses and minuses to it all, but at the end of the day, that's a huge plus. Everything's always working out for the greater good, just because you can't see it. So again, your mind can only see 100 feet in front of you. I always use the example of like driving in pitch black. You can only see 100 to 200 feet ahead. Or driving in fog, you only can see a certain amount of distance. Your mind's going to make you freak out based on what you see in the moment. It's your job to pull out and see that, no, this is going to be great for me, regardless what shows up. And then you have to declare your intention on what that is. This is energetic work. This is conscious work. This is neuroscience work. This is quantum work. This is you dictating what matters most to you and standing of what you're valuable enough, that you're worthy of this. Whatever that is, better relationship, better health, better body, better business, whatever that, you're worthy of it. Because let's face it, the storms are coming. They come and go in life. Nothing stays constant. It's one of the laws of creation. law. There's everything is changing except the 4 laws of creation, which I share in a podcast. Now, maybe I'll bring that up again. So my message is then embrace the suck, get into changing the story, right? State the story, what it means, set your intention, right? So when this happened, I was like, man, my goal is 10 chiropractic offices in 10 years, right? And there's a whole coaching aspect I want to build behind that and so much more. And what ends up happening is when it kind of got interfered a little bit, I looked and I was like, something better is coming out of this. I just don't know what it, right? I can't see it right now. And that's okay. But I know it's going to be better. And I'm still going to get that 10 practices in 10 years. That's my goal because I want to elevate chiropractic to a higher level. And, and there's other goals I have too, but this is just that it was it could look like it was affecting that one. But you declare your intention. I've had times where I remember when I was in practice early on, or even in my coaching business too, this has happened, but where things come up and I'd be like, you know what, my intention is I'm going to make this much money and this is what I need. And it's just going to happen no matter what. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, I take a hit in the business and I'm going, I don't care. This is what's going to happen. This is what it is. And I just know it's going to work out. And then all of a sudden you get referrals out of nowhere and they end up supplementing that plus more. And all of a sudden, next you know, you're looking at going, crap, man, I just literally said this is what was going to happen. And it's like really aligning to that in the most craziest way. Things are always working for you. The reason why they don't is because you don't have the faith in yourself. If you understood who you really are deep down, you can create all sorts of things. You can heal instantaneously. You can turn anything into gold instantaneously. I mean, it gets all out there, but the science is supporting, the quantum is supporting this massively. Because when we can tap into the zero point field, that's infinite energy, that's infinite creation, that is infinite everything. And when we can tap there and get into that, you can change the energy of anything that's stuck or anything that where you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, and it can be a game changer for your life. But the key is understanding this, and maybe I'll do some podcasts on that. I know in my program I'll be talking about that and bringing the science to it all, how you do that and so forth. But at the same token, it's one of those things that, again, embrace the suck, change the story, make the story whatever, like that. When the one door closes, the better one opens. This wasn't meant to be for me. There's something better. Right. I remember I heard that somebody was trying to get a house and they were all about this house. They were so in love with it. And, I kept saying, I said, it didn't work. It wasn't working out. And I just said, don't worry, there's a better house out there. No, but you don't understand. I said, hey, it's resistance. You're going to create more resistance. I was like, it's understand to embrace the suck. That's okay to do that. But what you're saying is a story. You're getting in scarcity thinking. Get back and just say, all you have to tell yourself, there's something better out there. And they kept saying it. And there was. They didn't realize that they got a house with more land and the price point they wanted. And it was even better than what it was before. I said, you just have to trust the process. That was one of my coaching clients. And so you change that story around, okay? You dictate that. You set your intention of whatever that goal is, whatever you're moving towards, and so forth. And you trust the process. If you need other stuff to add to the mix, get some breath work in. If you need some other things to add into, do some meditation, do some journaling. If it's a little stuck there, get into a state of gratitude and appreciate just where you are in the moment. But at the end of the day, these are the things you can do to radically change and to radically go through things because storms are coming. They always come. They always go too, though. So understand there's both to that. But it's just knowing how to navigate this because especially if you're really trying to do some big things, you're going to have some big upsets too. But it's the key of telling yourself this over and over and over, which will allow you then to navigate life a little easier, to not get so sucked into something, to rather see things as experiences rather than bad and good. Okay, it's just different. And when you can come from that, this is what the mystics and the sages and the gurus and all these people, and if you've ever been around one, they're always happy. They're childlike. They're very happy. I tell people all the time, like, you can get to a state of only experiencing one side emotions. And everyone's like, that's not true, blah, 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 blah. I said, hold on, you're going to have a range of emotions. But a mystic doesn't see it, somebody says, well, imagine if your father died or this died. And he's like, that's a different experience. Yes, it's going to be painful. Yes, it's going to suck. They know that. But they don't let it consume them. It's part of the experience. It's part of life. And they embrace it. They surrender to it. And I think when you surrender to something, there's no resistance. All struggle and pain and low vibration emotions are all resistance. And when you don't have the resistance, you're only going to experience the other side. And they find peace with it. And they find comfort through that. And they're content through it, to embrace those moments and to take those in and to see the beautiful design that's going on through life. That's my purpose of this episode for you. I hope this helps you as much as this has helped me in my life, and to really help you navigate. Join the Facebook group. Go ahead and join the wait list if you really like what I'm talking about here. These are concepts, little bits and pieces of what I'll be sharing in the program. I'm telling you, it's going to be a huge program. We're still working out some of the details of how we want to do it, from a sense of like time frame wise, group coaching wise, and is it going to be the one master program that's going to be everything? Will there be layers to it? That's why we're still putting a wait list out right now, because we want to really make sure we do this right. We're not trying to rush it like I used to before. I just put a program out there and just go. I really want to make sure that I have it in a system approach that can really help individuals, and then to meet where people are. Some people want to have a community. We'll have a community. If you want to just do it on your own, you got the solo shot too. So join that wait list. I want to thank you all. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, follow this podcast. It helps us get out there. It helps us stay up in that top 1% globally. It really helps us to continue this message, to really help make a change in this world, because when we can continually work on ourselves, that's how we truly make change in this world. So I want to greatly appreciate you for taking the time to tune in. And until next time, keep rocking and rolling.